everyone, I'm Janneke from Books and Stitches, and this is gonna be my third Flosstube video. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. I really appreciate all of the love and comments I've gotten from people. And if this is your first video of mine that you're watching, welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. I hope you enjoy it. It has been a little over a month since my last Flosstube video, and I have noticed that that feels like way too long because I don't even remember everything I've worked on anymore, which is a bit of an issue. So I'm gonna try to keep the period between Flosstube updates shorter, like maybe every other week or something, but we'll see. I have done a lot of stitching in that little over a month time, so I've got a lot to show you, which is very exciting. I'm very happy with my progress. I've got everything here lying ready. I guess we'll start with what I personally find the most exciting thing and what the piece I work on the most, my my main whip, which is my Disney piece. This is what it is going to look like once it is finished. It's gonna be enormous. It's like over 600,000 stitches. I'm at like 2% right now, so yeah, it's gonna be huge and I'm very excited about it. I will show you a picture of where I was previously, and this is where I am at now. I'm not gonna get it out of the frame because almost everything is still like visible. Like there's a little corner here that you can't see, but I've not really done anything outside of the frame. Yeah, I hope the light is okay. The sun keeps changing, so sorry about that. But this is where I'm at. I'm in the 4th page right now. So these were 2 partial pages, and then I did a full page here, and I'm doing this full page with Sneezy from the 7 Dwarfs. And I'm loving this piece so much. Like whenever I'm working on something, it's like, oh, is that gonna look okay? And then when it's filled in, it looks so beautiful and real. And yeah, this is my absolute favorite piece. I have done 15,143 stitches in total on this piece, which is 2.28%. And I did about half of that in the last month. I think I did about 8,000 stitches on this in the last a little over a month. Yeah, this is my Disney piece. I'm very happy with it. That is what I worked on the most, so you won't see as much progress on anything else I'm going to show you, but I absolutely love that piece. And then I am doing Whip Go, as many other people are, which is a bingo board filled with goals that you decide on yourself, and it's run by Jessie Marie Does Stuff. I only found out about it in March, so I am doing a bit extra to catch up. And when I first found out about it, I didn't realize it was run by Jessie Marie Does Stuff, or that she called the numbers. So I've just been spinning myself. I think next year I'll probably like join in on Jessie Marie's group and the number she calls. But for this year, I'm just going to stick with spinning a wheel myself. So for the month of May, which is basically the month since my last video, I think I already showed everything in April, except for one actually. So in April, I spun the packing order, which is a new start. And that was, I started that after my last video. So you haven't seen that yet. Let me get it. This is a kit by Leonard, I think. I printed the picture out because I wanted to have like a bigger front piece. But this is what it's gonna look like. It is a packing order. It is by Marjolein, I think, and I don't remember the last name, and I don't have it like written anywhere here, I don't think, but it is a kit by Leonard. I am doing this piece for my mother. If you saw my last video, you know that I told you I was gonna start a piece for my mother that she got to pick out herself, and that I expected it to be a fancy lady, and it was going to be, but she had picked out this kit for herself and a lady for me to stitch. But when she started stitching this, the fabric has a lot of printing on it, like this blue stuff, and she really struggled with that. So she asked if I was okay with trading, and obviously I was. So I am gonna do the burst for her, and she's gonna do the lady herself. And that was very different because this is the first piece I've ever started in the middle, because of the printed fabric you really have to start in the middle. And it's also the first piece that I'm doing O for 2 instead of O for 1. So definitely a lot of getting used to. I think especially the O for 2 I'm still like struggling with, like the counting, because you have to like 2 holes equals 1 stitch, and that's very confusing for me with counting, so I'm not counting too far in this piece. But yeah, I have done my goal for this whenever it's called on WipGo is 1,000 stitches, and I have done 1,356 stitches, and this is where I'm at. So there's no starting picture yet because obviously I didn't have a start. I started this since my last video. I finished the first bird completely, and then I started on like the tray they're sitting on, I guess. I decided to like just move to the right, and then I can stitch from right to left as I usually do. So I did the bird, and then I decided to just like travel here, and then I'm just gonna go fill this in the next time I stitch on it. So yeah, I'm very happy with the way it's looking. I do still need to do the back stitching. I figured I'd just do that at the end, all of it, because it's not too much back stitching. I think it's just in like the eyes and the beaks of the birds. So this is where I'm at with that piece. And that was my last WipGo goal for April. And then in May, I decided to do 3 WipGo goals again, so that I would be caught up, because I missed January and February. So now that that is over, in June I will just do 2 and etc., because I'm like caught up with having done January and February as well, I guess. So yeah, I spent 3 times in May, and that ended up with you seeing every one of my projects, because I spent the 3 you haven't seen yet. So the first of which, oh, let me put this away first actually, because otherwise everything is gonna get really confusing. Yeah, so I spun Aurora, which is a dimensions kit. The art is by Bente Schlick, and this is her. My goal for her is also 1,000 stitches, and that was actually kind of a struggle. I don't really love working on this piece. I like the way like the finished picture looks, but I'm still in the background, which is quite boring. And also it's all, not all, but the background is almost entirely half stitches, and I have found that I don't really enjoy doing half stitching. So 1,000 is my goal, and I didn't really do much more than that. Let me check how much it is. Yeah, I did 1,110. So, but this is where I'm at right now, and I'll show you a picture of where it was before so you can see the progress. I continued in the sky here. So that is what I did. I'm at 26.63% now total, and 11,250 stitches. Next time I'm either going to continue up in the sky to fill this out a bit more, or I'm just going to move down again, because if I move down again I'll get started on the polar bear pretty soon, which might be more interesting and make me want to work on it more. I'm not sure yet, because the sky does have beautiful colors, but I just prefer full crosses, I've noticed. So I'm looking forward to getting to the princess in particular, but that's still a ways away, because that's like not till here. So yeah, I'm about a quarter of the way done with this piece, but I think the other half, like the right half of it, left half of it, the other half of it has a lot more full crosses, because it has like the polar bear and the princess queen. So this probably goes a lot faster, but I am happy with how it looks. I think it looks really pretty. Really pretty. Yeah, this is my progress on that piece. So that is just basically my WipGo goal and not much more, and I think it'll probably stay that way for a while, at least until I'm like at this section that is mainly full crosses, because I just don't really enjoy working on this piece, even though I love the way it looks. So yeah, probably gonna work on her again whenever I spin her next for Whip Go. Okay, that is that one done. And then the next one I spun is my tablecloth, which is my oldest work. It's gonna look something like this. There are no before pictures because it's too big to show in its entirety. So every time I show it, I just show like the area I've worked on of the flower, because there are like so many gaps between flowers that are huge. I can't show you everything. So there's no before picture. But my Whip Go goal is always to finish one flower, because I really want to get this finished this year. Because it's just it's so old. It's like I started this when I was a little kid. It's the first thing I ever cross stitched, and it would just be really nice to have it finished. It's got a lot of sentimental value. But yeah, if I manage to complete my Whip Go, I will have done every flower but one. So hopefully I'll be able to like do one more flower this year and get it finished. But otherwise I should get it finished at the beginning of next year, which I'm very excited about. Yeah, I did one flower of this because that was my Whip Go goal, and I will show you. I'm not completely sure which flower I did, to be honest. So we'll see if it's like noticeable, because if the other half, I'm in the middle, so there are two flowers next to each other every time. If the other one isn't done yet, it'll be very noticeable. Yeah, okay, the other one isn't done yet, so I can show you which one it is. But otherwise it would just be like, which one is it? I have no clue. But since this one isn't done yet, I know that I did this one. So I did the entirety of this flower. With these flowers, I tend to just do all of the green first, like either all of the light green or all of the dark green first, and then continue with the other green. And then with the colors, fill them in either by color or just from right to left. So this is it. This is the only work I'm doing on, I think it's a linen. It is printed on, not by color, but where the crosses need to go. It's very weird to work on this. I keep stabbing myself because the needle for this is so much sharper than the needle I use for even weave for Ada. But it does look pretty. So yeah, this is the flower I did. I tend to spend quite a bit of time on this, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's just because it's more crosses than I think it is, because this is the only thing I don't have in Pattern Keeper, because I don't have a pattern for it. So yeah, I have no idea how many crosses this is. So it's probably just more than it looks like to me, but I'm always shocked at how long it takes me to do one flower. But yeah, this one doesn't really have a pattern. Like, this is the thing you get to like tell you where each color needs to go, and it's so tiny, so that is a struggle. But at least like all the flowers are the same, so after a while you like kind of get used to it. But it is just tiny. Like, these are the flowers in the middle and these are the flowers in the corners, and that's the entire pattern you get, which is honestly just shocking. Yeah, I accidentally put the wrong needle in here as well, so yeah. Let me fold this up again. It's big. I might cut this out, I don't know yet, but it can't keep laying on my lap because then I can't show you the rest. I have no idea what I'm doing with this thing. I always just like fold it up, and I think it's a different way each time because I don't want to like get up and do it properly. Which I totally just should do it properly, because then it will be tidy and fit and everything. But whatever, we'll do it properly once it's finished. I really want to have it actually on a dining table, but I live in a very small apartment, so I don't have a dining table. But hopefully at some point in the future I will move into a house and have room for a dining table, and then we can put this on there. It should definitely be finished by then, because I'm hoping to get it finished this year, and otherwise at the beginning of next year. And I'm not expecting to move in that time. So, and then there is one more last project to show you, which is a new start as well. You haven't seen this yet. In my last video, I mentioned that I wanted to do birth samplers for my nephews and my soon-to-be niece. She isn't born yet, but my nephews are already born. And Like the oldest is like 10 or something like that. But I only just recently found out about it, and I thought it would be really cute to have a birth sampler for each one. I recently found out about birth samplers, not about my nephews. I knew about them. I know them their entire life, so don't worry about that. But I recently found out about birth samplers. So I decided to make one for each of them. So I have started the first one. Sorry about the sounds. Yeah, this is the one I've worked on. All the 4 pieces of fabric are in there. So I have 2 different like patterns from the same designer. Oh god, I should have looked this up. I think it's Stitches Loves or something similar to that on Etsy, but I will make sure to write it down so you know where I got it. But I got it out of Etsy, and they had 2 that I really liked that like work together well, which is this Sleeping Fox. The name and stuff is just what they had as an example on the Etsy. It's not my nephew's personal information or anything like that, so don't worry about that. It's just their example picture on Etsy. So yeah, they had this little sleeping fox and this little sleeping deer to go with it, and I think they also had a sleeping bunny, but I thought these 2 were the cutest, and both my brother and my sister each only have 2 kids, so I figured that was fine. And I'm planning on doing this deer for the oldest kids and the fox for the youngest ones. So I'm working on the one for my oldest nephew first, and I have finished the entire deer. And I've made a tiny little start on some of the leaves and flowers because I was doing a challenge for which I needed a certain amount of stitches. So I figured I'd just do a tiny bit more to get that. So I've done a total of 1,863 stitches. And my goal for Whip Go was to finish the deer. So my goal for these pieces are to either finish the animal or finish the like leaves around it, or finish the personal information, which I won't be showing you, but I also need to stitch that obviously. So I finished the deer, and I think it's adorable. It's so cute, and I'm very excited to see what it will look like finished. I'm still unsure about when I want to get this finished, because I want to give all 4 of them in the same year. I want to give them on their birthdays, but the first birthday would be coming up in like September, which should be doable, but I'm not sure if it's doable to do all 4 of them in that year. So I'm like still considering if I want to like really focus on it and get all 4 of them done this year to like give them in their coming birthdays, or if I want to just like take it a bit slower and then start giving them to them next year. So yeah, I'm not sure yet, but I do want to make sure I give all 4 of them in the same year, because I would just feel kind of guilty, I think, if I gave one birth sampler to one of my nephews and then the other one wouldn't get one for another 2 years or something like that. Like, they're all the same, right? I love them all the same, and they should all have it at the same time. But I do want to give them their birthdays just so it is a bit more special. But yeah, in the same year. So yeah, I think that's all I have to show for now. I guess I can talk about plans. I don't really have much big plans in June, so I will likely be continuing to stitch on my Disney piece mostly because I just love it. I have spun for Whip Go already, so I will also be working on my tablecloth again, making another flower on that one. And I will be working on Aurora again, which means at least 1,000 stitches in Aurora in June. So you will get to see her again. And yeah, like I said before, I'm not sure if I'm going to stick to the sky or if I'm going to like move and just do a bit of the polar bear to like get my interest in it back up. But I want to do at least 1,000 stitches in that. I've also joined a Facebook group, which is really cool. It's like a Disney centered Facebook group in which you basically build your own Disney park by stitching. So I'm really loving that, and that one does have specific challenges, so I might pick up a different whip just so it'll fit into a challenge I want to complete, or I'll just pick a different whip because I feel like it. I very much stitch what you want when you want to stitch, because it's a hobby and it should be fun. And then whip go is to motivate me to stitch on everything, because I do know myself, and I know there's like a real risk that I just would not touch certain pieces at all because I'm just in love with the other pieces. So yeah, I, besides whip go goals, which are just for the month and very doable, I definitely like made sure the goals were doable. I just did whatever I feel like. And lately that has mostly been Disney, but it could really be anything of the 5 I've shown you. But I think that's it, really. I have so many other things I want to start already, but I gave myself the rule that I was allowed 5 whips per time, and I'm trying very hard to keep that. So I need to finish some things so I can start new things again. But the birth samplers count as 1 whip, so I can like start a different birth sampler already if I want to before finishing this birth sampler. I think I would like to do it like one thing at a time, but if I want to like stitch a fox, that's fine, because I count those as 1 whip. But besides that, I need to like actually finish something before I get to start something new, which I really need to finish something. But I keep wanting to work on Disney, which will not be finished in years and years and years. So we'll see. I want to start the Grand Library, which is another huge piece by Amy Stewart of Heaven and Earth Designs, and that's not gonna happen. I already gave myself the rule that I have to finish either the birds for my mother or Aurora before I get to start the Grand Library, because I don't want to end up with only big pieces. So I think the birth samplers and the tablecloth I just want to replace with other like relatively small pieces once I finish them, because otherwise I'll just end up with only huge pieces that I can't take with me anywhere. Because I'm already thinking in July I'm gonna go on vacation for a bit, and I'm already like thinking, oh, what should I take with me? Because I definitely won't be taking Disney with me, because I would need to take both the enormous piece of fabric but also like 2 floss boxes to get all the flosses with me, and that's just not gonna happen on vacation. So I want to keep some smaller projects at all times, just because I don't want to only have enormous things. But I think that's enough rambling. I just keep talking. I'm not sure why. I've shown you my progress. I've told you a bit about my plans. If there's anything else you want to know, please do let me know. I just realized I didn't really say anything at all about what I was stitching stuff on. So I'll try to remember to like mention the Ada or the even weave and the count and stuff for the next video. But if there's anything you want to know, feel free to just like ask me and I'll tell you right away. You don't have to wait for the next video and hope that I don't forget again, because I'm very new still to like the technical parts of cross stitch, I guess. So I honestly, for until like a month or 2 ago, I didn't even know what even weave was. So I will try to remember to mention it, because I know people like knowing it, and I always like hearing it too when I'm watching other Flosstubers, because I'm like, oh wow, so that's count size, that's so small, or that's a bit bigger, and I don't know, I just like knowing it, so I try to remember to tell it next time. Enough rambling though. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Hope you all have a wonderful time and a lot of great stitching. Bye.